seen it again and again. So where can you go? I recommend you start at Tangerine. The particular student I was talking to, I believe, was a client at CIBC, so I'll show you how to go to CIBC because they offer index funds too. They offer mutual funds, but those mutual funds will have an MER of 2 to 3%. You want to avoid the mutual funds, you want to buy the index funds. We just want to buy the market. It's a cheap way to go. So Tangerine is a great way. I like Tangerine because I'm a big fan of them because it forces you to save your money and move it, to hide it on yourself. It takes a little effort to get the money back. To get money back from Tangerine, I have to log into Tangerine's site and transfer money back to my account. I can't walk into a Tangerine bank and get it, branch and get it. So that's good. It avoids impulse buying. You got to really want the money to do that. And then we're going to have the last little conversation about protecting your money. I did have some students just asking me about stop losses and how that works. So we'll have a conversation about protecting your money, and I'll share with you my largest investing mistake and how, if I had understood this a little bit better, I would have been in a much better financial position. All right, let's get started. Your wellness matters. Everyone's wellness matters. It is certainly the theme coming out of the last several years that workplace wellness matters. Obviously, if I'm an employer and I have staff who are missing work because of mental stuff, that's not good for me as an employer. I have to pay them to be on sick leave, plus I have to pay a replacement, I have to train the replacement. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out how important it is to worry about your staff's mental health. It matters. Certainly you're seeing more of a worry here from us as teachers about your mental health and awareness of your mental health. We talk about it all the time. You don't have enough of a frame of reference, but homework here is really decreased. We give out a lot less homework than we used to. That's one of the ways that we're trying to cope with mental wellness because you have pile-on effect because you have work and commitment to your family and job and school, and it's too much. So certainly a big push for resiliency skills. Mr. Woodcroft talks about growth mindset. We emphasize it as a staff. All right, so 5 ways to bring a little more balance. I believe that the hunt for balance is a worthwhile hunt. In other words, you can work yourself to the bone. So yesterday, I was sharing with my grade 12s today. Yesterday, we ran into Tamara Maurer at a funeral home. We were going to visit a former teacher on staff at Res. Her mom passed away. Tamara is now 35. Tamara was our president back in the day, our Res Student Council president. 35, and she's made partner at a law firm. How awesome is that at 35? Tamara was a go-getter. Tamara was a hard worker and super intelligent, articulate, engaging. None of that surprises me that she's very successful at 35. But when I said, how's your life? She's living in KW and commuting to Toronto. Plus, 35, so into marriage, thinking about having kids. I would say balance is something she hunts for all the time. You need balance, you need some breaks. Let's look at some of these tips. So build some downtime in your schedule. Build some time to be quiet. Build some time to reset. Build some time for you. Even if it's, 15 minutes of yoga, a 20-minute walk, spending some time in prayer and reflection if that's near and dear to your heart. Obviously, in our Catholic community, that's kind of core. Drop activities that sap you. And I would also add, try to disengage from people that sap energy from you. I bet there's a good chance you might have lunch with some folks that are negative, are chirpers. Push away from those people. They will bring you down. Try to align yourself with people who are positive and are energetic and you love being around. It will change your actual outlook on things. So, drop activities, and I would say people where you can.
Mr. Dietrich, call 5601. Mr. Dietrich, 5601.
Be efficient with your errands. One of the reasons that online shopping is booming is because people don't have time to go hunting for stuff anymore. So they can hunt online, they can go pick it up. So watch your use of errands. This is less of an issue for you because you don't have a car, but I'm sure you see mom and dad do errand runs all the time, right? On a Saturday morning, out they go and they burn 2 hours driving here, and here, right? And they're busy and they can't find the time, but maybe if they just rethought some of those errands, they'd give themselves a little more time. I guarantee you that if you talk to a busy executive, the one thing they wish they had more of isn't money, it's time. I remember someone came in and made a pitch to the Dragons, and they said to the Dragons, what's the one thing you'd like more of? Instantaneously, all the Dragons, in absolute unison, time. Figure out a way to give us time. So, this, How do I spend my day? Next, physically get moving. So my wife is our board's retired healthy active living consultant. Boy, she is in a great sector as she opens her consultancy as she retires, because people are so terrified about the consequences of obesity. And we don't move enough. With kids, we don't get them moving. You sit too much, right? Sitting is tremendously dangerous to your health. My wife used to have a ball at work. She would sit on an exercise ball, and it was just a symbol that I'm not just going to sit and do nothing. Lots of moving desks are now appearing in workplaces. Stand up, move like portable desks where you can actually stand at your workstation as opposed to sitting, right? Get moving. Don't be sedentary. And we know the benefits, of course, of moving. I often share a story of a report I had read about a family, and the mom lost her husband and all of her kids in a horrific accident. So she wasn't in the car, her husband was in a car, lost her husband and all their kids. She was in such depression, the only way out for her was exercise, going for a walk and running. It saved her, literally. So just the benefits. And you're going to be under the gun at university and college, midterm time, pressures. Keep moving, keep exercising. View your exercise as a mandatory part of your day, not as a hobby. It's like, I need to do this to stay fit. Like, you're just not going to give that up, no matter how busy you are. And remember to be gentle with yourself, right? I always talk about watch your self-talk. Are you beating yourself up? I even, in Lent, I even talk about this with my homeroom. Maybe we can give up on beating ourselves up, on feeling bad about who we are, what we've done, guilt. We're Catholics, so we have lots of guilt. It gets wired into us. So be gentle with yourself. We're human. We're going to make some mistakes. Let it go and continue to grow. And everybody makes a mistake, and I'll be front of the line with that. If Mr. Woodcroft was here, he would say he's growing in lots of ways too. So keep growing, right? You know the opposite of growing. If you're not growing, you are dying. Okay, so KW. This was in the Globe and Mail yesterday. So not the Record, the Globe and Mail. Look, so it's a full-page ad. I wonder how much that cost. What is it? It's UAW, presented by UAW. And what is this? It's an innovation summit that they're putting on. And the theme, AI. We are viewed as a mecca for high tech. This region is a mecca because of the engineering programs and science programs at UAW. Pusheng is here because of UAW. The international students are here because of U of W. We need to come to terms with U of W is viewed as one of the finest science and engineering schools on the planet. Figure it out. We have international students from around the world here trying to get their language in place and their confidence in place to get up to UAW. I often say to my international kids, do you know what UAW is? And they laugh and say, of course, that's why we're here. So we need to appreciate that this is great news for our local economy. Those grads stay here. Many people move here from Ottawa to go to UAW, and they graduate and they stay here. And you're seeing that. Google, BlackBerry, OpenText, drive up behind U of W. There's a huge tech park of commercial buildings opening because they can get a hold of the UAW grads. And of course then the Laurier business grads and the Conestoga tech grads. We're just blessed. But my point is, I don't think you're going to have to leave KW. I think it's going to continue to be very, very good here for a long time. Certainly between the LRT and the construction, Jenna can share some stories about the tenants and the demand for property. You're in a good spot. So again, just further evidence you're in a good spot. International conference held right at UAW. Doesn't get much better than that. Next. This is sad. This is Carrick. I love Carrick. What's he saying? Our kids have watched us borrowers, and now they're loading up on debt. Oh. What's Carrick telling us? We have some early indications of how kids raised in an era of free and easy borrowing handle credit themselves. Not going very well. Credit reporting firm TransUnion says the country's credit profile overall was in reasonably good shape in Q4, especially in light of interest rates recently popping up a little bit. There were some worrying results among borrowers who are Gen Z, which means they were born between mid-1990s and mid-2000s. So that's you guys. According to TransUnion, members of Gen Z can be as old as 23 or 24, together account for 7% of credit consumers.